Hello, Adina. Thanks for officially welcoming you to the midterm mental coaching hot seat where you can ask me three questions under 15 minutes or less. And I'm glad to virtually meet you. Tell me, how do we what is the connection here?
I have attended several of your masterminds, no, of your VIPs, boot camps. I don't know the
Yes.
right word to call them, but I did them.
Oh, good.
And I am currently a owner of a listed 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom, single family home in McDonough.
Oh, McDonough, that's in our backyard. Okay, tell me
Mhm.
about the property and tell me what's the biggest pain point or why you're on here today.
Okay, so it is currently fully furnished, freshly
Yeah,
painted, nicely designed, and I am working on getting my first tenant.
good for you. Tell me
Um,
about the number of bedrooms.
It's 5 bedrooms, it's 3 bathrooms, it is 2298 square feet. It has a
Hmm.
large fenced backyard, a two-car garage.
Love it.
It is vinyl throughout. I can't claim hardwood, but it has
Yeah.
nice new floors all the way throughout. And it's ready to go, but I have
Okay.
questions on operation.
Shoot.
For property managing, because
Yep.
I am a practicing physician and
Good
so
for you.
can't property manage myself. So what is a realistic cost for a property manager? Because I've run
Mhm.
into some people who want to help, but I don't know what the realistic cost is.
Sure, sure. So, let's talk about the operation of the model. Are you going to be doing a hybrid model where you'll do some short-term rentals and then some mid-term rental stays, or you're optimizing for mid-term rental stays? Is that how you see it, or?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
optimizing. If I need to do short-term rentals because I don't have a midterm tenant, then I would do
Mhm.
that.
Okay, perfect. So, what's typical in the industry, right? If you think of long-term rentals, that's like people are typically charging 8% because it's, again, very low maintenance. They get someone in there for 12 months, etc. When you're talking about the short-term rental world, which this is, I think midterm rentals are just a longer form of short-term rentals. So we'll put it
Yeah.
into that same bucket, right? 30-day plus is midterm, right?
Hmm.
Typically, it's not uncommon for someone to come in and say, "Hey, I'll be a co-host for a 20-80 split or 25 and 75." Now,
Okay.
when you're in that range, you can kind of dictate because I don't want you to set some limiting beliefs. I have multiple doctors who actually take advantage of the tax loophole and actually participate. It doesn't mean you're tied to your phone. It means you can set up systems where you are actually able to self-manage this on your own. You can actually self-manage one. Now, I don't want to jump into your schedule and make any assumptions, but it is possible because when you're operating a short-term rental, your team, your management team are your cleaners and handyman, and they report to you, right? So it doesn't mean that you're going down there. It means that they're doing that and they're reporting back to you. And there's in this day and age, so many systems you can leverage to do that. So I wouldn't write off completely self-management. It's not what it looks like. It doesn't mean you're going on site. It just means you're essentially the point of contact and escalation point. And you don't have to be tied to your phone. As you know, if there's something, there's an emergency, you can actually delegate and say, do this if you can't reach me. Otherwise, I'll come back to my computer at some point or my phone at the end of day and be able to guide you on the path that we should take. So I would definitely want to open up your mind of what's actually possible. And there's multiple doctors like yourselves who have actually been self-managed operators and they've leveraged other people.
Okay.
Mhm.
I also am operating a wellness consulting firm, which is the business that I am transitioning myself into out of clinical medicine.
Good for you. No big deal. Just an
Yeah,
overachiever.
that's it.
I love it.
Where I am doing like community-based yoga and corporate
Wow.
education and medical education and life coaching. And so I am trying to build that business. So ideally, I was thinking I would um, make my do more oversight, loose oversight of my
Hmm.
investments and my real estate so that I
Yep.
could focus more on building that business while also seeing patients.
100%. Yeah, you got a full plate for sure. So there's two things to look at because I wouldn't I've been in multiple situations where people thought they've actually come to us for like, can you do management? And I'm like, hey, let me teach you how to fish. There's something to think about. I have to think about it today, but with the right systems in place, um, you don't have to spend more than 2 hours a week on this, right?
Okay.
That's a realistic, like one property. If you're like us, you have multiple properties, then yes, it is a full-time operation. But if it's one property, it's doable. There's a lot of technology. We have automated messages that go out. We have automated, texts that go out to the cleaners when they need to clean. Like there is a way to do it where it doesn't take over your life and doesn't become now a burden. Because I know what you're saying. You want clear path. Here's my focus. I want to continue to grow my portfolio, but I don't want it to get into the way. So I hear you loud and clear. One doesn't get in the way if you set up the systems the right way and you're willing to. Now, if you're like, Ruben, I have no interest, zero, I am locked in, then I can definitely, even myself, introduce you to some people in Georgia that would be interested in co-hosting. I have like three names that come to mind right now, and their fees would typically be that 25.75 because they're going to do what? Optimization and listing, copywriting, dynamic pricing. There is work behind it, and it is we co-host as well. And so respectively, there are great operators. There's value in paying them that because they're basically your manager and they will just send you reports and handle everything. And if that sounds like more peace of mind, then just factor that into your margins, right? When you do your forecast of what you can make that year, minus
Yeah.
25%. And if you're okay with that and you have peace of mind, power to you. It's all about having getting your time back, right?
Yeah. If I did go with a property manager, do they get my midterm rental? Like, would they be doing all the advertising marketing to get the client in, or do I still have to do that?
Know that they would do that, right? A good operator would do that. So they'd set up your Airbnb listing. They'd if someone who's coming from my network, so from my mastermind, like I have a few names that come to mind, they would actually also drop your property into those database of insurance companies, right? Because that's what we've learned. And your traditional STR operator is just going to do straight STR.
Yeah.
Now, there's a way where you could step in and do a hybrid and say, if you've taken some of my training, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to set up that duplicate listing that Ruben was talking
Yeah.
about. And when I get an inquiry, I'm going to set the expectation with management that I overrule and you will figure it out. So if I say I got a
Yeah.
3 month inquiry, we're going to say yes and you're going to figure out how to cancel the other ones. Just, I would say the best thing you can do in any partnership is setting the expectation because you don't want to ever blindside your property management company saying, no, 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 we don't do that. And it's like, no, no, we had this discussion. Like, I was also going to do some of the marketing because this is what I learned and I invested my time to learn this. You don't know this, but I know. And so I would maybe state that up front that that's the expectation. What's going to be the plan if I do land something and you have bookings? Can you make sure you don't overextend your bookings outside of 30 days? That way we don't have to get into an entire exercise of trying to cancel things for out. Like these are some of the conversations I would be thinking about if you're going to maybe, guide your management or let them know what you plan to do. Because from what I'm hearing, if you're anything like us, STRs are nice, but MTRs are nicer because more
Yeah.
occupancy, more profitability, less headaches, less turnovers. Which is
Yeah.
also why I don't want you to rule out doing it by yourself in the beginning if you feel you have the capacity, because there's a good chance you could land a 6 month contract and guess what? It's no headaches. It's like a long-term rental,
Right.
but cash flows even more than an STR. And you have a perfect property. I can tell you've definitely are following the blueprint. 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom. That's amazing. So I'll let you sit on that. I give you a lot.
Okay, two more questions.
Oh, absolutely. I'm here for you.
One, I am on all of those listings. I'm on 5 listings right now, including Airbnb, although I have not duplicated my short-term listing yet. Um,
Hmm.
I have gotten contacts from ALE, and they all
Oh, good
fall
for you.
off, and I don't know
Oh.
why.
Okay. Well, first of all, that is literally, I just had a huddle with my team about this. It is nothing personal. It has nothing to do with you, Dina. Sometimes it's literally like we have huddles every day. We had one today where it's like, oh, that family decided to go with their neighbor's property or an aunt or someone that they knew in the family. So it's certainly not personal. Now, what I would say is let me get some feedback because where I get a little bit, well, I feel a little bit some type of ways if they walk my property and then they don't move forward. I'm like, ooh, maybe there's something I could have done. And sometimes it's as easy. And this is why I always say it's really good to have somebody there on site because sometimes it can be like, oh, we wish there was an extra TV in the study room, so we're not going to move forward. Stop it right now. We can get
Yeah.
you an extra TV, right?
Oh, that TV.
Like, we will get you a TV. Let's not be confused. Like, we're here to solve problems. So only then, like, if they say something like, "Hey, there's stairs in the front," blah blah. Guess what? We can get creative. Oh, do you want a ramp installed? Like, we're
Mhm.
problem solvers. Now, if you don't get to that point, you don't get to figure out why. I would follow up and see if you can get. Sometimes it's just a matter of they pick something else.
Okay.
They sometimes wanted to cash out or they stayed at the hotel. I mean, there are plethora,
Okay.
like there's so much that can happen that I don't want you to think there's something wrong with my property.
Okay. I was just
Yeah,
curious because my property, like I finished furnishing and designing it, and the next day I got a inquiry from
that's
ALE,
good.
and
Yeah.
then I responded to them, and I emailed, and I called, and I got nothing else ever again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always say, unfortunately, and I know we do a good job of doing this, but think about it. If they had to actually, for all the inquiries that they get or reach outs that they do, if they had to go back to those families and say, hey, by the way, the family didn't want to move forward, it'd be another full-time job. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel good for us as investors. I'm like, hey, you left me out to dry. What's going on here? But the reality is, if they want you, they'll reach back out. And by the way, sometimes a family might come circle back weeks after because they think there's a better option. And then they're like, you know what, let's go with that. So I wish there was a better way. The exact same way on Furnish Finder, when people, you get inquiries all the time, you don't respond. If it's not a good fit, people feel a certain way, like, oh, it'd be nice if someone to respond. It's kind of how the cookie crumbles in this industry, you know?
Okay. And then my
Yeah.
last question is about cleaning staff. I do
Mhm.
have a cleaning fee. I follow that in your model as well. So how often are you having a cleaning crew come in while you have tenants there?
Once a month is good. If
Okay.
you, yeah, once a month is enough. And I think sometimes it's actually, you can make a good case for it, especially if they're pets. Even if there isn't, let's say you got a 3 month or 4 month or 5 month or 6 month, people's living conditions are different. So you really want to make sure you're getting your eyes on the property, aka your cleaner's eyes on the property. So it's kind of
Yeah.
almost like an inspection, and it's like, because there could be something like there's a leak and someone's like, you know what, we have leaks in our home and we don't do anything about it, where you could do
Right.
so much preventative uh care and damage for your property. And you can't expect tenants to treat their properties like theirs or sometimes worse than theirs, because sometimes they just don't have the same standard. So, rule of thumb, once a month is good. Make sure you charge for it, and you can factor that into your proposal. One of the things that I was teaching that we've adjusted, or when I say teaching, I only teach what I practice. So one of the things we've changed, as in real time this past quarter, is we bake in our monthly fees in there, because the adjusters liked and would rather see a upfront one-time fee on the front end rather than having it a monthly fee. Because what happens is, as they extend, it's a recurring fee that kind of can grow over time. So let's say I said, hey, it's 250 a month for cleaning. If they extend for 4 months, that's $1,000. They would rather see a one-time fee up front that they can control. Like if you said, hey, a one-time cleaning fee of $600 or even 1,000, we've gotten away with saying that, because there's two pets. They'd rather see that on the front end and then just bake in an extra maybe $5 to $10 per your daily rate on the monthly or the nightly stay. That's gonna have a higher chance of getting approved than you having a 250 a month monthly cleaning fee. So that's just something that we've seen has worked. I hope that makes sense.
That definitely makes sense. And I will totally take those contacts for property managers, although now I
Okay.
am considering doing it myself.
I would take a stab at it. There's nothing wrong with experimenting. I have your email here, which I won't say out loud here. It ends in S at Gmail and then starts with A. Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna I'll shoot you an intro to what's the best way to do it? There's three people. I'll give you their emails, and then you can say, when you're doing an intro, emails and phone number. When you're doing an intro, just say, got your contact from Ruben intro, or something like that. That way
Okay.
you can reach out when you feel the need to, and I'm not sending an email and you're like, I'm not ready yet. Like, I want you to be in control. So I'm going to go ahead and send you those contacts here shortly, right as soon as we end the call, which is like soon. Do you have any other questions? I'll give you some bonus time. Anything else?
I do. I have one
All right.
additional question that I
All right.
wrote
Here's
because
bonus overtime. Here you go. All yours.
hey, I love bonus overtime. Okay. Let me pull up my notes because I knew I would be too excited to remember what I was going to say. Oh, I have a septic tank. And
Okay.
so, um, I was considering doing a like a convenience package kind of where I'm buying and providing the cleaning supplies that are best for my septic tank, but calling it a feature and then making it a mandatory feature that they have to do.
Oh, that's nice. That's super neat. Yeah, I think the way I would just put it is like, hey, this property is on septic, so we've already curated uh um environment friendly products on us, so you don't
Mm,
even have to worry about getting toilet paper and XYZ, blah blah. So that's maybe what I would put everywhere on the listings, and then setting that expectation during check-in. Please let us know if you run out because we'll get it for you type thing. So you're kind
mm,
of like letting them know that, hey, like we want to control this. And then you bring it back to, people are always focused on what's in it for me. It's like, by the way, this is on us. So you don't ever have to, we cover this and we restock. Just make sure that if you're ever dealing with an insurance company, maybe like you kind of jack that up into your admin fee or your kind of move-in fee, and or even you can
mm.
highlight it. I always say that they don't really question those fees unless if it's absorbent. It's kind of this crazy fee, and if it is, you can kind of state why. In your case, I don't think a couple $100 will get you along the way where you can control the quality that is going down your septic. So yeah, that's a good way to put it. We also have these really neat things that I'll show you that we put in one of our homes, vacation homes, that I think you'll appreciate. It's these signs that you can put in the bathroom: septic tank, uh, sorry, not tank, septic, um, signs, sign for bathroom. Yeah. So this is what we put. We have something. Actually, I found the exact same one that we use. Let me put it down here on the screen. This is what we've used and we've hung it, and it's pretty nice. It's in every bathroom. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So this is a pretty neat little thing. Cause
Hmm.
and we hang it. It's it's pretty nice. You can kind of we like have this little lanyard that's, oh, what happened? Uh yeah. So we have this hung. That way you're just kind of like setting expectations. Sensitive septic system. Please do not cute little sign like that.
Yeah.
Be kind to the drain. I think it's just good for visual to have in the
Yeah.
bathroom. So yeah, something like that helps.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down too. Okie dokie.